Guys, listen. It was back to back. Literally, you are the champion. Play another round. You are the champion.
Hello and welcome to Podcast the Movie, the podcast. It's your boy and your favorite host, Austin, back at it again to talk about movies and random things. I am accompanied by my good pals, Tyler Weese.
What's up?
Logan Henderson.
Howdy, howdy.
And the one and only Rubyen McCormick.
Hello.
All right, boys, how's it going? Y'all watch anything other than the movie this week? Because I know I did, and that never happens.
You watch stuff?
Yeah.
I watched something.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Usually it's I played a video game or something.
Man,
yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
you know,
I,
the last week when I was hosting, I asked you what you had watched, and you said, "That's a good fucking question." I laughed so hard because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, you see, what I watched was I made Hannah and I made her watch the first Conjuring movie because because the third one's coming out in like June. Like I feel like that shit just came out of nowhere.
I just saw the trailer for it.
Yeah, and it looked pretty. I mean, those movies to me are generally okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the Conjuring ones themselves, I feel like all the little extra ones, they're kind of hit and miss depending on the movie you watch.
Well, okay, so there's like The Nun, there is the
There's like 3 Annabelle movies.
And is there another one?
There's The Curse of La Llorona.
Okay, that's all in the same.
This sounds like it's right up Austin's alley.
Oh, listen, man. I love the Conjuring universe of movies, but some of the movies are such hot garbage. Like, I hate that they're as bad as they are.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of like a horror shared universe, like what they're trying to build.
Have you watched Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have.
okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods is pretty solid. It's interesting. By the time it gets to the end,
it gets real weird.
It goes
really
weird.
super
weird. Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of like, you know, like pushing the different like monsters up, but then like when it got like really, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. like
they kind of
weird.
Crystal Skull it a little bit.
Yeah, a little
you know
bit.
What I mean?
Okay.
You know, like not exactly, but you get what I'm.
I
mean,
see, yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we watched The Conjuring 1. Great. I think I really like Patrick Wilson a lot, even though I don't know of anything else that he's in other than those movies. And I'm probably going to watch the second one this week just to prepare myself.
Patrick Wilson? He's in tons of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he has that face that...
He's known for those things, though. So whenever he shows up in movies, it goes... he was also Insidious. So
yeah, he was. He was in Insidious.
Whenever he shows up into movies like that, you're like, oh, some fucked up shit is going to happen. So he's kind of known for that kind of thing. What's the actress that's in it? Vera Farmiga. Yeah,
that's her.
Yeah. Like, she's a badass actress, and the fact that of them two being able to play off of each other in that, and what would normally be like just kind of like a shitty horror movie, it's very sellable, very enjoyable performances. Yeah, I like The Conjuring. That
can really lift it up a little bit.
Yeah,
I have not watched any of them, so I am definitely the Austin.
Hey,
right
man,
now.
The first one
I don't,
at least is really, really good.
I don't mean to be the one to say it this time, Rubyen, because to be quite frank, I don't talk all that much. But it's on HBO Max. So if you have HBO Max,
there you go.
You can watch that one as well as
Rubyen did say
one.
though.
Is that 3 minutes?
Rubyen did
HBO
say
Max
that
is no longer my friend. Paramount Plus is my friend.
He's a Paramount Plus guy.
Also,
so.
hey, real quick, shout out to Paramount Plus. Here's a little tips and tricks for everybody. Go ahead and sign up for that free 30-day trial. Choose to cancel it, and then they go, "Hey, wait, don't cancel. Here's the next 2 months for only $5." And you go, "Yeah, that's what I thought." And then you just you get 2 extra months. and then
So you get
cancel
3
it.
months for
Well,
$5.
negotiating power. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I just clicked OK. I didn't read all the terms and conditions, so
There you go.
it could be
you
5
signed
per
a 2-year
month.
contract.
You're probably right.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
Yeah, but cool. So that was the movie I watched outside of the main film we'll be talking about today. Did anybody want to go next, or should I just pick on you guys?
Pick randoms.
Pick randoms. Rubyen.
I hate it so much. So yeah, before I jump in, I just want to let everybody know, because it's just like my 4th or 5th time telling you, but I just came off of 2 back-to-back wins on Apex Legends. I don't know if anybody's familiar, but I play a lot of video games, less so movies. I enjoy being a part of this so I can watch movies again, but I play too many video games. And yeah, I just, 30 minutes ago, back-to-back Apex Legends wins. That's what I've been doing all day.
Hell yeah, dude. Proud of you.
And
Wow.
no, realistically though, also, again, video games, I've been playing Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is probably
Underrated as hell.
I'm going to tell you right now, the game's been out, 5 years now? My first time playing it. Honestly, some of the...
You've never played Titanfall 2?
I played multiplayer, never played story.
Oh, the story's top notch.
Yeah, so I'm starting story. Some of the best sci-fi that I've probably ever consumed in general. It's already, it's up there for me. Titanfall 2, the lore, the characters, the world building, it's already up there for me, the best sci-fi.
It's also
Yeah, it was a real kind of letdown when that game didn't receive, in my opinion, the praise that it should have, because not only is kind of the story and the world building really cool, but it's got really nice actual game mechanics as well. And
Yeah.
This was something that was gonna, in my opinion, I thought this was gonna be kind of the next Halo for Xbox and Microsoft, and not quite.
They dropped the ball.
Yeah, but it was. I think it was one of those where when it came out, it was kind of buggy, but they kind of got better as it went along. But yeah, excellent game, man, for sure.
So
Are you playing it on Game Pass, or did you buy it?
I was playing it on Game Pass, and then I'm a sucker for achievements, so I just went ahead and dropped another $12 and rebought it on Steam. So yeah, I've probably bought the game, I guess, 2 or 3 times now, and finally got around to playing it.
Honestly, they deserve all the support they can get.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stop playing. Somebody get me away from Apex Legends. But other than video games, I have watched a few things. I just watched The King of Staten Island for the 2nd time.
God damn, what a fucking stellar movie, man.
I enjoy it so much. It's
Is that
just
the Pete Davidson movie?
Yeah, it's Pete
Yeah.
Davidson, Judd Apatow. Great cast.
It's based off of Pete Davidson's life in a way.
It's loosely satire of his real life.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the movie means nothing. I guess you could say it plays out. It's an Apatow movie. I mean, there's this whole character building and character suspense, and then the movie just kind of ends, and you're like, he didn't fucking learn anything. This movie didn't teach me anything. And then that's kind of what you get.
I think that's not what that's definitely not what it's trying to do. It's not trying
Right.
to teach you anything. It's just trying to give you
It's showing you characters.
a moment in time,
yeah.
this. It's
definitely
so
a period.
incredibly
It's a
fucking
period
well done.
piece as well.
Yeah.
This movie is very. It's almost 2020. This movie was pre-COVID, and it feels like one of those movies where it's a period piece. This movie's not going to age very well probably in 10, 15 years, but I think that's kind of the point. It's just it really sets its point where it's at in East Coast American lifestyle of Zoomer Gen Z burnouts, trying to figure out what to do, and I enjoyed it. I mean,
I enjoy it. Pete Davidson is
Haven't
so
seen it
fucking
yet. I'm
good
gonna
in
have to
that.
check it out.
Oh my god!
It's on. Is it on Netflix? I think I remember seeing
I
it.
bought it. I mean, if you want a screen pass or if you want a Movies Anywhere temporarily, I could let you watch it. I got
feel
it.
like I've
I
seen
have
it
it
on
in 4K.
streaming somewhere,
Is it-
like a ton.
I don't know if it is
it
streaming
not
yet.
on HBO,
HBO
Max?
maybe.
It could be, yeah.
But other than that, guys, I don't know how many times I've talked about this on the podcast or if I've even really told you guys, but I have an unhealthy obsession with Impractical Jokers.
Are you
Oh, yeah, yeah.
serious?
I don't watch television, and I don't really watch anything, I guess, on TV that is considered not content driven. But there's something about Impractical Jokers I can't not watch when it's on. And legitimately, for the past few days, I've probably watched about 8 hours of constant back-to-back seasons of Impractical Jokers, and I'll watch the same episode 4 or 5 times and die laughing every time. I don't know what it is, but 4 dudes that have been friends for fucking 25 years,
Yeah.
just acting like 12-year-olds, and they're almost 50, is
Doing super dumb shit together.
the funniest thing I have ever
It's
seen
very
in my life.
YouTubery, so I think maybe that's why I can,
Yeah.
withstand the test of time in a place where a lot of TV nowadays that's popular, besides maybe The Bachelor, is, it's all, fiction, story-driven drama.
Yeah, I mean the show's still active. Like literally yesterday, a new episode came out. The episode's called OK Zoomer. It's relevant, dude. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just good content, and they're thriving through COVID. And I think everybody at some point should just watch something Impractical Jokers related. They're not funny guys. Like if I met one of them in person, I'd be like, dude, get away from me. You're not funny. Like you're not a funny guy. But something about all 4 of them together, it's just the chemistry they have is ridiculous. And
I don't know, man. I feel like when I watch that show and they're doing their like little skits and shit, and like 3 of them are like, in a separate room. The way that they laugh with each other in that room seems so fake and
it's
scripted
not, dude.
to me.
Oh, it's not at all.
Like I can't get into it every time.
You gotta watch,
because it's on all the time at work.
So you have to watch Inside Jokes, which is the pop-up video version, which is the behind-the-scenes like documentary version, and it's essentially the exact same show. Or you could watch Impractical Jokers After Hours, I think is a new one they did. But anyways, it's actual cut footage behind the scenes between takes, and it's even funnier because they're not on TV, they're not scripted. And they legitimately just like slap each other and force each other to do stupid pranks that they shouldn't be doing in public.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched
I would hate those guys. Like
I
in
watched
real life.
12 hours of Impractical Jokers in this past week, probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
And the only movie I watched this week was King of Staten Island. And
I hope you watch 7. So.
What's that?
The Lucky Number 11, the movie that we're covering today.
Yeah, Lucky Number 11.
Yeah.
What's his name? Josh
Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett was in it.
Yeah. Bruce Willis.
Willis was in it.
Yeah.
I watched Lucky Number 11.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. We're on the same page.
Nice.
What's up, guys?
So, all right, Tyler and Logan. I think for the video viewers at home, I think you guys need to rock, paper, scissors one round, and whoever wins gets to talk about what shows they just watched for this week.
Okay.
All right?
A little
Ready?
video exclusive here.
There you go.
Ready?
There's no delay in the lag. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Rock,
paper, scissors.
Jesus
Jesus
shoot on.
Christ.
Wow,
Do you
wow,
shoot
both
on-
scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, so it's
Hold on, hold on. Is it 1 2? Is it 1 2?
doesn't
shoot?
matter. He won. Doesn't
Is
matter.
it 1
He
2
won.
shoot or
That
1 2
Logan-
3 shoot?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I held
Logan
paper
is
for about 5
undisputed.
years.
Yeah.
Undisputed paper
take it.
winner. Logan,
Okay,
what did you
guys,
watch this week?
I watched quite a bit because I got my second COVID shot, and it put me on my ass
Raise the
for
roof.
about a day and a half. So first of all, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am invincible. I am inevitable.
Yeah. As soon as he gets his shot, he sends the "I am inevitable" text, and then
Immediately
he's
can't get out of bed.
"Brr, I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, it was like I brought it on myself.
I know.
Immediately.
I know.
I finished. I'll start with the kind of stuff I've been watching. I finished Superstore. The last season.
Completely
of
caught up.
I've yet
Superstore,
to start it, dude. Look, text me tonight, guys, at 11:45 p.m.
Okay.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's worth it. It gets really, really good. The last season is one of those where kind of the main person in the show didn't sign on for the last season, but she stuck around to kind of finish out the storyline for some of the beginning episodes and last episodes of the season. So it was a pretty nice ending, a really nice, heartfelt kind of happy ending to the show. That's what the show deserves, and I'm not, it's not spoilery because it's not really something that it's not story driven so much. It's just a workplace sitcom, so don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a spoiler, but it was really good. They tackled COVID. They dealt with kind of the weirdness of dealing with that, and people getting sick and dealing with anti-maskers and all that stuff that everyone on this podcast is well aware of and very familiar with.
How many seasons is that? Where until
6
it gets
seasons.
there? So I gotta watch 5 other seasons to get to the funny stuff.
No, it's definitely funny before that, but
Okay.
yeah, if you're wanting something that's still topical, absolutely, yeah, you're gonna have to get a little bit through it.
All right.
I'm gonna mostly just leave it at that for that one because it's just kind of been my I come home from work, I watch a couple episodes, I go to sleep show. I also finished Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, holy fucking
man.
shit!
It was very very hype. Is the best way I can
I've
put
still
that.
only watched the first episode, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, there is some shit that went down. I don't know how I felt about the story as an ending. Again, I won't spoil this one. I don't know how I felt about kind of the ending of the story itself, but the character development side of it,
Yep.
and the implications on the MCU moving forward,
Yep.
very exciting.
Were they on a
very
boat?
very exciting.
They're on a boat.
Yeah.
The
The whole
implication.
Oh well,
Jesus.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
of the implication.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
implication.
I'm not
Right.
understanding. Are they endangered?
They did actually get an old boat and fix it.
They did.
So
They actually
did
did.
do that.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, my point stands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It does. So that was a good time.
Yeah.
You guys really need to catch up on it. I would say that my overall enjoyment of it was probably a little bit more enjoyable than WandaVision, actually, with the conclusion of everything. The introduction and the development and arc of John Walker. That dude, man.
John
impressed the hell out of me.
Walker, Bucky.
I mean, yeah, all of them, but he was,
I
I
will
knew
tell
I was
you-
going to get some good stuff with the main 2 guys, but he's who surprised me. I knew what they were trying to do when they brought him
Sure.
in, and I knew a general idea of probably how it was going to go, but what really sells it is, God, what's his name? Kurt Russell's kid, Wyatt Russell.
Yeah.
Is his acting ability is
Oh yeah.
really,
He's a
really
fucking good
top
actor.
notch.
Yep.
He just does such a good job with the job that he was tasked to do in
Yep.
playing that character.
Yep.
I'll leave it at that. He really nailed it.
By the end
sure.
of the show, I actually liked Anthony Mackie, so that says something.
Damn it, Tyler.
Yeah, because you
I
fucking
know,
hate
right?
him. Yeah, and he has a moment in the last episode that I think I know what it was that
Yeah,
may
of
have done
course.
it for you.
Yeah.
Because it was really fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Really good.
All right. I'll watch it this week.
Yeah, it's fucking well worth watching. Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Yep.
I watched 2 movies. I'll talk about the bad one, quote unquote. They're both kind of. I'll get into it. The one I watched for fun was Year One.
Hell yeah,
Have you guys
dude.
ever seen that movie? I
Yeah,
love that
now
movie.
Now you're talking
Yeah.
my language, dude.
It's objectively kind of shitty.
The movie sucks so
course
much that
it
it's
is.
good.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
The
it
movie
is one
is
of those
so
that's
bad.
so bad that it's just enjoyable. you look. You get Jack Black. And you
Everyone.
get Michael Cera. You get and there's
get-
way more than that.
You get
forget
David
how
Cross and
Paul
and
Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
as Cain and Abel. It's so good, dude.
the funniest-
Vinny
So good.
Jones, Hank Azaria, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. There's the cast
think-
of characters. Oliver Wilde, Oliver Platt.
I don't
there's
think it's a
fucking-
bad movie. I think that maybe the cut that we got could have been better. Like I think
Oh,
the content
definitely,
was there.
definitely.
Like
yeah, it's very uneven on kind of the edit and the pacing, where things will happen very quickly and then sometimes it'll slow down weirdly. You even get Kyle Gass in there as a eunuch.
Yeah, Kyle Gass is
So-
in every one of Jack Black's movies, though.
And look,
Oh, yeah, dude.
this is another one of those situations where there's a certain movie mentioned, and then you're required to watch another version of the movie in a way. I always follow up Year One and Observe and Report around the same
Okay.
time. Are you
Oh,
a fan
man.
of Observe and Report?
Oh yeah. I see where you're going with that.
I don't know why,
makes-
but those are 2 of those movies that are completely unrelated, but somehow they're
yeah.
connected for me.
Yeah, well, for me, when I watched it this time, I hadn't actually seen this movie probably in 6-7 years, and well, maybe not quite that long, maybe 5-6 years. And what I forgot before I watched it is that I had seen this movie probably 100 times. This is one of my
Okay.
comfort food movies. I've watched it so many times.
started
I knew
playing.
exactly where the scenes were. I knew a lot of the dialogue. I knew the jokes that were coming up, and I still had such a great time. It's so silly and so weird, and like I don't know how they come up with the idea for this and to make it the tone that it is, but for me it just works. It's the exact kind of opposite of of Seven, the main one that we're doing today,
Yep.
where it's just silly and dumb. And then not to go too long here, but the last movie I watched is the new HBO Max exclusive Mortal Kombat movie.
I was wondering if somebody was going to bring that up.
I haven't seen it yet. I'd like to watch it, but I haven't seen it.
I also have
Have you
not
got-
seen it.
It
Reese, did you
is-
watch it?
Oh, fuck yeah, I watched
I
it. What are you
figured you
talking
watched it
about?
day
Come
one.
on
I
now.
knew you would have.
Yeah.
I've been waiting so long to talk to
Me
one of you
too.
guys about this.
Me too.
And
Just tell me.
this
I'm not. I
movie-
don't care. Like I know how it ends. It's
I
Mortal
do.
Kombat.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it.
Hey,
I don't think
Here's-
I don't know of
he-
anything I can spoil.
Can I
there's
just-
zero that can be spoiled.
Can I shoot
Uh,
the
think
shit?
Of
Do
a
you know
single
anything
story
about-
element to spoil?
Okay, do you know anything about Mortal Kombat?
I mean, I've played the games. Yeah.
Okay,
That
there you go.
doesn't-
Yeah.
Well, the games also have deep lore to the point where it's like if you're just playing the game at the menu and you're fighting your friends,
Sure.
Mortal Kombat has some insane 25, 30 years of lore.
Oh, I know.
Especially from but really starting with Mortal Kombat 9 is when they really got into in the games some of the real nice juicy lore.
Just wait
and
until they
story.
start doing fucking time travel shit.
Almost none of that is present in the movie. What you get in this movie is fan service. You get a lot of that.
That's
You
all
get-
fan service.
You get tons of references. You get little tongue-in-cheeks
you
jokes.
get to hear
get, like-
people yell fatality after they
Yeah.
That's awesome.
they
though.
fatality
That's what I'm-
somebody.
So-
That's
I mean,
the
it's
reason I'm
so
watching
dumb,
it.
dude,
That's
but
the
it's
reason I'm
awesome.
watching it.
There is a part, and I'm not gonna get all the details out of the way.
There's
He does
Does
do
he
that.
say that?
Kano is the
yes.
best character.
What are you talking
by
about?
far.
I gotta watch it.
It's
But
so
the-
dumb.
There's one joke in
but-
there that is my favorite, and it's
It-
because
mine too.
It's so meta.
Yeah.
It's so meta. I don't know if it's the one you're
And they-
thinking of because there's a lot, but they
Well,
nail it.
It's
Do you think
Just
you
say
know
it.
what
Just
it is?
spoil it.
okay.
Spoil
Is it
it.
the
so with-
is it
it's
the
with-
it's the style of gameplay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
all
So
right.
you have
Yeah.
Liu Kang and Kano are like doing some training, and so Kano's talking his shit. He's all straight. He's like, "Come on, let's fucking go!" Right? And then Liu Kang just fucking leg sweeps his ass and knocks him on his
Yeah.
ass. And then Kano gets up and he's like, "What the fuck was that, dude? I wasn't ready. I bet you can't do it again." So he just leg sweeps him again. And then he's like, "Is that the only move you know?"
Yeah.
And then he fucking
So he just
does it
keeps leg
again.
sweeping?
He
Yeah,
just
he just
spams
keeps
him.
leg sweeping.
He just spams it, and it's
Yeah.
it's that kind of joke that's in this movie that I
It's-
love.
it's there
meta jokes
for-
for the game.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's literally making fun of nothing to do with Mortal Kombat.
If you
it's making
feel
fun
like-
of specifically fighting games.
Yeah. If you
as
feel like
a
you're going to go
genre.
into Mortal Kombat, like learning some grand message or storyline, plot structure, anything, you can fucking cancel that, man, because
With
that
one
is not what
exception.
this movie is.
There's one exception. The first 15 minutes of the movie
Yeah.
feel like it could potentially be one of like the best martial arts movies ever made. Samurai movies, like the cinematography
Of the
intensity,
opening to it, yes.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
actually awesome, and it's so
Incredible.
weird how it quickly shifts to not that.
Yeah.
Is the opening
As
is the
you go.
opening our introduction to Scorpion and Sub-Zero?
yes.
Is that
Yeah.
okay? So I watched like
You
a
can watch that
6-minute
on YouTube.
Yeah, I watched like that. I watched a 6-minute video on YouTube.
That's
And the whole time I'm
that's-
watching it,
that's
I was like, damn, this is actually
that's
this
the
like
entire
Hollywood.
opening of the movie. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, it
and then
seems
you're
like a
telling me it's all
large-
downhill from there.
Yeah,
It's not downhill,
to
but
a
look,
bit.
it's not
It's just
downhill.
different. It's a huge tonal shift.
Yeah.
in the movie, like it gets really,
is the movie fun?
Oh,
Yes.
it's super
It's
fun. yeah.
I recommend anyone.
I finished and then I
everyone should
immediately
watch
called
it.
my brother, and because he had watched it and said something about it, and then I was like, I gotta watch it. And so as soon as I watched it, I called him and we did our whole fucking talk about Mortal Kombat, doing the whole Mortal Kombat. I mean, like the acting
Yeah,
out
dude.
all the characters, and yeah, man, I grew up playing that
Does
shit.
does
okay?
Scorpion say get over here?
Get over here!
Minimum
Yes.
twice though.
Oh
Twice.
yeah, yeah.
He says twice. Okay, I'm in.
And Sub-Zero does all the Sub-Zero shit. That like there's the thing where he does the
Does he say like? Does he
and
say
he
like?
makes a little
ice
backwards
to see
ice
you?
wave.
Yeah, he does the wall
He doesn't.
and throws
Does
him
he? He
into
doesn't
it.
Oh
give
my
me an
God.
Arnold. He doesn't give me a Mr. Freeze. Ice
No.
to see you.
No, doesn't do any of that stuff.
Sub-Zero and Scorpion are like tryhards in this. Like they don't have
Yes.
any kind of
They're
silliness.
just sweating the whole
Everyone
time.
else is like they're the two that kind of ground it to make it a little more serious.
Well,
but it's
and-
okay because in the context
and
of what's
Raiden
going on,
and yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
saw Twitter was upset that we don't get Johnny Cage. So I don't know what happened there. I guess I shouldn't
just
watch
watch
it.
the
Dude.
movie.
You need-
Social
just
media
watch
is
the movie.
mad.
you'll have to watch it. And
Social
Just watch the
media's
movie,
mad.
man.
one other last thing I'll talk about with this is that they do feature some of the like actual in-game fatalities done
Yes.
in the way they are in the game. The
Yeah.
best one being the Kung Lao
yeah.
fatality, which
Yeah.
is one of my favorite ones in the game because it's so fucking.
Does he
brutal.
ever turn into a dragon and eat anybody?
Just
Luke,
watch.
You're thinking Liu Kang.
Oh,
And-
you're right. Yeah, I'm racist.
And
You're right.
yeah, you are. But also,
Yeah, I plan on watching that. I'll probably watch it this week, to be honest with you.
It's fun.
yeah.
And where
I'm
can they
watching
find it?
I'm gonna watch it again.
It's going to be on
HBO
HBO
Max,
Max.
baby.
If you go to
Yeah.
HBOMax.com
I honestly can't believe they haven't sent at least
podcast movie podcast. I don't know.
a T-shirt yet or something. Like
Something.
Please,
Come on, HBO Max.
Send me a pin.
Come on, guys.
Like with HBO
I don't
Max
even
on
want
it. It's
anything. I just want you to realize we're giving you free advertisement.
As much
Right.
advertisement if he has done to the for that
I should
channel.
at least get like 2 months for
Yeah.
free.
At
Yeah.
least.
I'd accept it.
At
I'd accept a
least
free
60
subscription.
days.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
All right, Tyler, what
that's it
about
for me.
you? What about you?
All right, I gotta go. I gotta go.
So I'm going to talk about 5 movies that I watched.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, like literally, but I'm going to do it in a very quick fashion. So you know how I am with like certain directors. So we watch a David Fincher film, and I'm like, okay, so what are the other? I'm going to pick out the least watched David Fincher films. We've already done Fight Club, so I didn't revisit Fight Club this week. But what I did revisit this week is 2 of my other most favorite, 3 of my other most favorite David Fincher films, which are Zodiac, Gone Girl, and The Social Network. Social Network, I think I maybe had watched that twice.
Social Network
is-
is one of the greatest movies ever created.
God
Period.
damn, what a fucking great movie. What just the writing in it. It's Aaron Sorkin's writing with David Fincher directing, and it's such an impressive film. Such an incredibly impressive film. And I'll go in depth a little bit in the David Fincher, filmography whenever we cover that here in just a couple minutes. The other 2 movies that I watched were I bought a movie bundle on iTunes. It's a 4-movie bundle, and then I bought it because the 2 of the movies that were in the bundle are one is by an actor that we're going to be talking about today, Mr. Kevin Spacey. I watched The Usual Suspects, and the other film that I watched out of that, which kind of ties directly into the movie Seven. Well, I shouldn't say indirectly ties into, just based around the same like themes and everything like that, is Silence of the Lambs. So if you wanted to be able to watch something that is dealing with a lot of the same darkness and themes and shit like that you find throughout Seven, and you're just into fucking crazy serial killer films,
Not a fan.
you should definitely watch Silence of the Lambs. Austin, have you seen Silence of the Lambs?
I have not.
God damn. God damn. I would love to be able to go, like, just live in Austin's brain just for a little bit so I could experience all
No,
these
you don't.
movies
You
for
don't
the
wanna do
first
that.
time. So,
Yeah. My memory with Silence of the Lambs, I watched it when I was really young, and it freaked me out.
yeah.
And so I didn't watch it for a long time.
Rightfully
And
it
then
should.
Whenever I was, I think I was maybe in high school, my family and we went to go out to eat at this Chinese restaurant, and on the TV they were playing Silence of the Lambs at
Oh,
this
What?
restaurant,
It was
The
and
haunting
it
you.
was so
It was haunting
fucking
you.
weird. Yeah, dude. First of all, why? Why do you have that movie playing at a restaurant? Because
It was on like
weird.
TBS, first of all. They were
Yes.
watching basketball an hour ago.
Yeah,
And
I guess, man. But it's also a Chinese
It
restaurant.
puts the
so
lotion in the
sometimes
basket.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Eating Chinese
somewhere.
food.
sometimes it's Family Guy,
Yeah.
and then sometimes you go in, and it's fucking Silence of the Lambs uncut.
There you go.
Director's edition.
I just think of that moment in my life every time Silence of the Lambs is brought up, just because it was so weird and it stuck with me.
Yeah. Eating your
Yeah,
fucking eating your Chinese food, whatever fried and or greasy food that you have. While
of course, Anthony
while
Hopkins,
watching, yes,
a recent Oscar winner as of last night of recording this
Who's that?
podcast.
Anthony Hopkins. He was.
What are you talking about? Oscars? Never heard of it.
Hannibal Lecter. Yeah, so that's going to be the other part that I was going to talk about a little bit is the Oscars. Did everybody get a chance to watch the Oscars?
I was going to ask you, Weese, if maybe instead of delving into it too much here, maybe we do a little bonus episode for an Oscars recap.
One thing,
Oscars recap.
One thing I did want to say about the Oscars, and we can cover this in a little bonus recap at a later point in time, but it is the fucking weirdest Oscars that I have ever seen in the entirety of me ever watching Oscars, which has been my entire life. The order at which they presented things, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I noticed that whenever they were announcing them, it was weird.
And them being together in different areas where like nobody was together in like a grand ballroom, so everybody was kind of split up into their own little sections, and then some people just didn't show up for the Oscars or didn't do a recorded anything. And for those of you guys who haven't seen it yet, that's how they ended the Oscars. They announced Best Picture way early in the day. They went from Best Picture to Best Director. They got all that shit out of the way. Do what?
That wasn't a highlight? They didn't say
No!
Best Picture?
That
Best
was
Picture
like
was usually the last one.
It was one of the first fucking awards that they gave out. It was like, here's some technical Oscars and your Best Picture winner. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense how they did any of that shit. It made zero sense.
What got Best Picture?
It was Nomadland. So Nomadland wins Best Picture. Frances McDormand won for Nomadland.
Didn't she win a few years ago for
Frances McDormand? Yeah, for 3 Billboards.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and good movie that was too.
Oh yeah, 3 Billboards.
I haven't watched the last 5 years of Oscar movies.
So fucking good.
Again, I want to remind all the listeners that I only play Apex Legends.
Yeah, we know.
And I've missed 5 years of Oscar movies, and I need you guys to fill me in.
Listen, buddy, we're the same person.
We're getting there, dude. One day you're gonna have long hair like me and be a hippie.
One of these days.
Dang.
No, he would.
Yeah.
He is very far away from that. Chloe Zhao won she won Best Director for Nomadland. One of my favorite performances of the entire year, which was Daniel Kaluuya in
Knives Out.
It was Judas and the Black Messiah.
Look at Logan.
And he won for that one. That was incredibly.
That was actually Lakeith Stanfield, though, right?
Lakeith Stanfield was in Knives Out, but he was also in. He was also in Jesus and the Black Messiah. Both of them were actually nominated for Best Supporting Actor for being in the same film, which says a whole fucking lot about Jesus and the Black Messiah if you haven't seen it. Just an incredible, incredible fucking film. And Daniel Kaluuya, he gives a really, it's funny, poignant acceptance speech where he thanked his parents for procreating, which is super weird. And he said that in front of his mom and his sister, which is
I'm sure they loved that.
Super weird. And he kept saying, brah, he couldn't even believe that he was there in the moment accepting this. And he kept giving himself a little pep talk. And he was like, Dan, come on, while he was doing his acceptance speech, which was so good. And then they capped off the night with the Best Actor. They ran until midnight, and then they were like, and now for your Best Actor. And then they announced it. It was, everybody expected Chadwick Boseman was going to win it posthumously, but they gave it to Hannibal the Cannibal, and Anthony Hopkins was not even there. So
He's usually not.
Not only was he not even there, but he didn't even record like an acceptance, anything to be able to give to them in case he did win, like thank you so much or anything like nothing. And so they were like, and your best supporting actor winner is Anthony Hopkins. We will accept the Oscar on behalf of Anthony Hopkins.
How old is he now? Like 99
good night, everybody.
years old?
Yeah, he's like, and he's definitely asleep. I mean, you know,
That's why he wasn't there.
Yeah, dude. He didn't didn't give a shit.
No,
He did post a video today where he did an acceptance speech, and he specifically mentioned that he was honored to be nominated next to Chadwick Boseman, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, look, not taking anything away from Anthony Hopkins because yes, he wasn't going to be there. He already told him that he wasn't going to be there, and B, that's a fucking shitty way to be able to end the Oscars. It was just terrible, terrible.
Yeah, just poor planning and
poor planning.
I'm thinking that surely they will go back to more. With COVID and stuff like that, we knew it's going to be a little weird, but they didn't have to really pile on the stupidness.
I get it that they could make it a little weird, but like having everything out of order, the fucking night always ends in Best Picture. Everybody knows that. That's how it's always been. Why would you change that? Why would that be the thing that they changed?
Imagine if the Moonlight La La Land thing happened in the middle or something, and then you had to just deal with that weirdness for the whole.
Could you
fucking
imagine
time.
that?
That would have been awful.
That was one of the things that was actually trending last night on Twitter. Was the guys who were there for like in the building for the Moonlight La La Land mix up, they were even saying, holy shit, this was way more weird than the entire experience of everything that we went through while being there experiencing that live. And then I went back and I rewatched that clip of the Moonlight La La Land mix up, and god damn, is it still good. It is so funny to see Warren Beatty, and he's like, I'm just old and I'm reading off a card.
And then you see Kimmel up there. He's like, is this a joke I wasn't informed of?
Yeah, no, man.
Also, hold on. Why is Jimmy Kimmel just still a part of anything?
Because are we not like Jimmy Kimmel?
I'm not a fan of
I don't care for Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Jimmy Kimmel's one of my favorite late night people.
He's literally the bottom of the barrel, though.
Nah.
Who's the top of the barrel?
Top? Like my personal top?
Well, it was
Conan
active
today.
It was Conan for about 25 years.
You think Conan's the top?
Absolutely.
Conan,
Absolutely.
No.
as far as quality,
You guys have a nice night
of jokes. I'd say
you got to think who you're talking to.
I'd say Conan, and then Colbert, and then I'd put.
I don't even like new Colbert. I miss Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, actual Colbert.
Do you guys ever watch like any like John Oliver or anything like that?
John Oliver goes up there, but he doesn't count as late night.
He's not like daily. He's a weekly show. So
I love John Oliver is probably the best. But
yeah, for sure. If you're gonna count weekly shows too.
Let me come in with a hot take here real quick. Let's change subjects. Jimmy Fallon, honestly, is probably the king of late night. I mean, I know he laughs. I mean,
that was it
bye, Logan. For anybody just listening, not watching on YouTube, Logan just left.
The irony is that's one of the bits that Fallon does on his show.
Yeah,
that's why it's funny. It's funny, dude. All right, but he goes Conan, Jimmy.
No.
Jimmy Kimmel is probably below like fucking the British guy who's not even funny.
I was just about to say we're not even going to mention Corden because
James Corden is literally so unfunny that it like I don't even have an analogy. He's so unfunny that when I watch James Corden, I can't even say his name. I don't even know his name. Gordon or Corden?
I think it's Corden.
Corden.
I'm pretty sure it's
Who
Corden.
even spells their last name like that?
Doesn't matter.
Anyways, we're talking about
45 to 75 housewife. They love him. That's his target demographic right there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not.
They love to hear him sing and in a car because it's relatable.
Yep.
We all do that, right?
Man, all
Even
that I
him.
can tell you, like Rubyen, all that I can say personally, and I don't watch a whole lot of like late night
I don't
anything.
either.
You guys know that I don't. I don't watch anything. The main ones that come to mind when you guys talk about hosts is like Jimmy Fallon, Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel, and that's pretty much the only ones that really come to mind besides John Oliver, but I guess I won't count him. But if I had to go based on just those three, I went and saw Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Kimmel live a few, like 3 years ago. And the experience that I had with seeing Jimmy Kimmel live versus Conan, Jimmy Kimmel was way more personable with his audience. Like between takes, he would like walk up to the audience and like he just talked to people. Like he was just super chill. He'd just be like, "What's up, guys? You having a good time?" And like he'd just be talking to people. Conan sat at his fucking desk and didn't say a goddamn word to anybody.
As he should. The god that he is.
He's put in the years, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, Kimmel's been around a long time.
He's done the
too,
work.
but...
Jimmy Kimmel's trying to retcon all of his Man Show years.
I loved Man Show. What are you talking about?
Yeah, when I was 12.
I was gonna say it's not dated very well.
The only good thing about the Man Show, was
is
that
women
we had
on trampolines. Yes, go ahead.
We had Andy Milonakis.
Okay,
Milonakis.
Yeah.
That's the only good thing about the Man Show.
You guys remember when Jimmy Kimmel was like the wingman for Bill Stein?
Ben Stein. Win Ben Stein's money.
Ben Stein. Wait, didn't we watch that like a couple weeks ago? I feel like I watched that recently.
Oh man, I haven't seen that in fucking forever.
Legitimately, I just watched that like a week ago. It wasn't this group; it was another group. We watched it on like Pluto. There was a 24/7 like Win Ben Stein.
Bro, you got a Pluto group?
Probably, dude. I don't know what you guys are doing. Listen, I don't know what you guys are doing during the week, but other times on Discord,
we're watching HBO Max. You fucking bitch.
We're live streaming. We're flipping channels on Pluto with like 15 people in Discord. And we're just arguing over what channel to watch. It's hilarious.
Usually you can catch me sitting here watching the fucking Oblivion thing you linked me a few weeks ago. I still watch that.
Okay. It's good nighttime stuff.
It's great, dude. It's great.
Oh, the guy that does
the English teacher overlaid with Oblivion UI.
Yeah, it's dude. So great.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's incredibly well done. Incredibly well made.
Well, boys, before we get too deep into our nonsense talk, we're right at about 45 minutes in.
Uh-oh.
And I'm thinking we need to start talking about the movie on topic today, if y'all are down.
Let's do this.
Probably a good idea. This is probably the longest we've gone in an intro.
Right.
I'm just having fun.
It's fine.
I mean, where do you guys want to begin? Do you want the story, actors?
So let me tell a little bit of story real quick, and then we can kind of get into everybody's thoughts and feelings and everything like that.
All right.
So the year was 1995. No,
I love Tyler stories.
Gather on the campfire, children. No, man. So 95 was a fucking. It was a very incredible year for me. It was the year that I actually graduated high school, putting a little bit of a marker on my age. Go ahead, do the math.
For context, I was 2 years old.
Go ahead.
For context, I was born in 1995.
God damn.
For context, I was like 6.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, 7 or 7. Is it 7 in?
7.
Yeah, 7 in. Or lucky number 11, whatever you want to call it. So there was a director by the name of David Fincher. David Fincher, he had made
the best alien
basically, movie. Okay, so one of the worst alien movies. But hold on, don't walk out. It's not David Fincher's fault.
No.
The reason why the Alien 3 came out to be what it was is because the studio put their grubby goddamn fingers in it, and they kept changing things, and they would do things at the last minute, and he was supposed to have creative control over a lot of that stuff, and he was given no creative control over anything, and he had such a miserable, horrible, terrible experience being able to make Alien 3. He was like, I think his quote was something to the effect of, I thought I would rather die of colon cancer than to do another movie. And it's because he had such a terrible experience. Like, Sigourney Weaver kind of stood up for him, and, a lot of the cast and crew actually stood up for him. Otherwise, Like he never would have been able to make another movie. And this story of Seven it's been floating around for a long, long period of time. So Seven, it was actually written by a dude named Andrew Kevin Walker. You may know Andrew Kevin Walker by one of the other films that he is really, really known for, which is 8mm. Don't know if you guys know anything about 8mm. 8mm is Nick Cage being the Nick Cageiest Nick Cage, which is so fucking good. But he also wrote Panic Room, which, there's another David Fincher film for you.
A kid.
What did? 8mm or Panic Room? Yeah.
That movie freaked me out when I was a kid.
Oh yeah. But it's the one that he does later on. He did Panic Room in 2002, also with David Fincher. But Andrew Kevin Walker, he's got this really dark, super gritty style of writing. He wrote Seven after having lived in New York, and like I said, it was floating around. The script had been floating around Hollywood for quite some period of time, and like it went through pre-production a couple of different times. Let's see, Jeremiah Chechik was attached to direct at one point. And let's see, Al Pacino was considered as Somerset. Denzel Washington, Sylvester Stallone were going to be were passed on the role of being Mills. So both of those guys were up for Mills. And Robert Duvall and Gene Hackman both turned down the role of Detective Somerset. I mean, there's been so many in development versions of this film that were floating around Hollywood for a considerable period of time. And then whenever the script, which there was a couple of working scripts that were kind of floating around, and then one of the scripts included the giant reveal scene at the very end, and it was something the studio actually wanted to keep out, but David Fincher actually got his hands on a version of the script that had that ending in it, and he was like, this is the fucking movie that we're making. And he got a lot of support from the working guys that were in Hollywood that had worked with him previously, not just in on Alien 3, but also, fucking music videos and everything like that. And that's what ended up getting him the right to be able to make Seven. And, for a movie that was made in 95 on a budget of $33 million, it ended up grossing $327 million. And legitimately that helped to line out David Fincher's future. That allowed him to be able to, take that money and then turn that money into the next 10 years of his directing career. So, not only that, but, you get this incredible introduction, to, Academy Award winning, multi-Academy Award winning, audio production design, score design, in Trent Reznor and
Atticus.
And those guys working together.
Wait, they did this movie?
Yes, this was Trent Reznor's first score that he did.
Well, let's argue that.
Well, he didn't do the score.
No, he did not do the score, but he did the mix for the opening song for the film. But it was the first time that Fincher and Reznor worked together, which led to this relationship that they have and allowed him to be able to. He's won multiple Academy Awards for scores for David Fincher, and then one last night.
Oh, that's right.
For Soul.
The movie opens with a Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails
cut. Yeah,
it's Closer.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a remix of
Because
Closer.
the guy
remix,
who did the score is Howard Shore, who is
correct.
the same
Howard
guy who
Shore,
does the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Yes,
which is kind of weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
Also, to keep with that, and not to break it up too much, but you mentioned kind of the title sequence. There's a lot of story just behind the title sequence.
Oh
and
my
kind of
God,
the legacy
yes,
that
there
it
is.
leaves itself too. Like watching it in 2021, you'd probably be thinking, well, I don't really know what's so wild about this, but I mean, whenever you actually are seeing kind of what's going on screen in combination with the music and the usual credits that you're getting, that was something that was pretty out there, because you get to kind of see a little bit of a preview of what the movie is going to be about in a pretty big way, which is kind of earlier movies than this, it's usually just some kind of long drawn out establishing shot of a city or whatever, while you just have the credits rolling up. It doesn't actually have any kind of
text that
implications
shows up on the screen.
the story. Whereas this one does. If you're paying attention, you can get a little idea of what you're about to see. It's a true teaser.
Well, one thing I liked about the first 30 seconds of the movie, I don't know if you guys caught this, but we get Morgan Freeman getting prepped for the day.
Yep. Somerset in the house.
House, and literally the first 30 seconds of the movie, we get a game of chess. That's the opening shot, him walking past the table with chess pieces, and it's almost like, by the way, it's about to be a game.
This is the whole fucking thing that we're setting up for you guys.
Yeah.
David Fincher is really, really good at being able to, doing the whole hide in plain sight thing throughout all of his films. And his ability to be able to do that in this specifically is just incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah, and he even uses that technique as part of the story as well. Where you have him show up as like the press at that one point. After I think it was the first or second murder, and it was super weird. There's so many just shocking moments throughout this movie, which to me is impressive because it's pretty intense from almost start to finish.
Oh yeah,
it's just
heavy,
goes immediately.
Man. Yes,
and you're just always on the edge of your seat from the beginning, and for them to be able to still give you these really large spikes and kind of action and suspense, I thought is pretty impressive because a lot of the times in kind of a thriller movie, it'll be a little slow for a while. It doesn't seem like there's much going on, and then out of nowhere you may get a little jump scare, and then
this one runs headlong right into it.
Yeah.
No, so my take, let me just go ahead and get it out of the way here. My take on this, probably a little bit different than you guys, but this is maybe my second time watching this movie in its entirety. So this is another one of those movies that felt like it was always on TV, and I've caught pieces here and there, and it's just part of the pop culture mainstream of the quotes in the movie. But sitting down and watching this, the first 40 minutes of the movie, for me, I was just bored, to be honest.
It's okay to be wrong, Rubyen.
That's fine. And the movie,
Austin coming out here.
There's a lot of shots in this movie though that were paintings to me. There were a lot of freeze frame moments where I was like, damn, that'd make a good wallpaper, or like, oh damn, that'd be a good cinematograph. Like, there were a lot of shots in this movie that were foundationally academia, I guess I could say. Like the movie is very much like, this is how you make a movie. But there's a lot of dialogue throughout the beginning of the movie building out the characters where I was just like, let's move this along. I don't know what that was for me, but for you guys, for me, I was just ready for it to wrap up. In the first 40 minutes, I was like, this has gone on an extra 40 minutes too long so far. Get me into what's going on.
I don't know about quite that much, but I could agree with you maybe on how much they spend harping on Somerset retiring for what is ultimately not a lot of payoff. The only real payoff of them harping on him retiring is wow, what a way to go out. But there's really no actual payoff to, there's no relevance to him to retire.
You think he's seen it all? Well, he hasn't seen anything yet this summer.
Right. Yeah. It seemed like maybe they were trying to say that, he still has work to do and there's still a reason to keep caring and believing in the world, as he says at the end. But other than that last quote, which kind of just comes out of nowhere because, there's not there's narration throughout this movie that much.
That was not supposed to be the end of the movie, by the way.
Yeah. They kind of Blade Runnered the shit out of that.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't love that part, but I guess I can kind of I'm about 50% in agreement with you. I'd give you 20 minutes instead of 40 minutes, where maybe they could have trimmed a little bit on the beginning. But for me, I put that out of my mind pretty quickly because once it does start to really, really pick up, it just goes. You get the slowest moment after is probably when they're over at Mill's house and they're eating dinner. That might be where it slows down a little bit.
I love that part of the movie.
If you watch the movie and then immediately watch it a second time, as soon as you're done with it, the whole time you're watching, you're like, oh, just the whole time.
Yeah.
That was me. I don't know.
For me, I spent the entire film. Anytime that somebody mentions this movie, and I'm surprised that nobody has done this thus far into the podcast.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
What's in the box?
There it is.
Like it's
That's the only payoff in the whole movie.
It's the thing that I'm, that the film is known for is, well, two things. One is Kevin Spacey and the fucking reveal that it is Kevin Spacey, and two, it is that crazy fucking ending. The original cut of the film, the original way that it ended, and the way that Brad Pitt thought that the film actually ended, which it didn't, was whenever Detective Mills becomes wrath, becomes vengeance. And that's how the original cut of the film ended. And the studio was like, we don't like that. And, this whole idea of, basically taking care of him and, we're going to take care of him and do all this other stuff. And then, the whole talking over the end of it, it was a great little speech that they added to the very end of it, but it completely changed the entire shift of it. The tonality.
It felt super band-aided on, and also in a world now in 2021 where we just finally had a cop be convicted of murder.
Weird.
It felt kind of weird to watch a cop be like, well, I mean, because he straight up murdered him when he shouldn't have. Like, that's straight up murder what he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get the emotions, but you can't do that. And then they're just like, he'll be fine. We'll take care of him. It was kind of like, ooh, I don't like that too much.
Yeah.
So, but that's.
I mean,
this is 90s.
I get where you're coming from on that point, but just to follow up on that, but does it not change your opinion on that at all, even though you knew that Kevin Spacey killed like 5 people beforehand?
I'm not saying from like a sympathetic point of view that I disagree
one of
with
those
what he
is
did.
your wife.
And one of them is your... I get that. I know. I 100% get cops should not just be killing people like that. But in this particular situation, in this movie, where this guy's wife...
Right. I get what you're saying. That's not...
His
decapitated.
pregnant wife.
It's not exactly
pregnant
comparable.
wife.
God
right?
damn, man.
But it's just this idea that... Like, they seem so unbothered that he would have any consequences, I guess. Specifically, that fraction of it is where I'm just like, it's just something I noticed. And it's probably only because we recently had a very high-profile case where...
almost like it was like the movie was letting you know, like, hey, cops can kill you even if you're the bad guy. Like, I mean, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but like, I think that's the whole point of the movie, though, is ultimately the morality of like, he's wrath. He had the ability, he had the choice to not do it, right?
They have the choice right there.
And even
What's
Somerset was telling him, like, give me the gun. Like, this is what he wants you to do. He's doing this because he wants you to do it.
Yep.
Like, don't give it to him. And I mean, I think, ultimately, would that have been a better choice, not killing him, letting him live out his, remaining days, questioning everything? Like, he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't get the ultimate wrath. He didn't get the self-suicide by cop, letting him rot and think about everything he's done, and just sitting in a dark room alone for the next 45 years would have probably been the better play, for a person like this. But I don't know. I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
Also, kind of like right before that scene, just a question, probably not for Rubyen, but when they're in the car, because, Rubyen was tired of the movie 45 minutes in, but when they're in the car and they're driving he's
talking shit to him, just trying
the
to get a
whole
rise on him.
monologue between Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey, like the whole talk they're having, like it's straight like 15-20 minutes of them just going back and forth.
Yeah.
Did you guys at least for the first time you saw the movie, because this was my first viewing, did you feel like you had like a cinder block of tension on your shoulders the whole time? Because holy
absolutely.
hell.
He's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I have never been so engrossed by a scene in a film before. Like my neck hurt by the time they got out of the car and I finally got to figure out what was happening.
Oh yeah.
Like I was super into
because
it the whole
at this
time.
point you still like you get the theme of what he's doing, but it's the slow drip of information on the motive, and but you're still not exactly sure what the end game is from the first viewing. It's weird how I still felt a lot of tension in the subsequent viewings that I had of the movie, but nothing really hits you like the first time you watch
the first time that you watch it is so tremendous. Yeah, the reveal, the moment of Somerset going over there, being called over there to the fucking UPS driver or whatever he is, and getting that box, and the whole time I'm like, is that a fucking bomb? The first time that you watch it, you have no idea what the big reveal is going to be. And
honestly,
then,
a bomb crossed my mind.
And then whenever he opens it and there's blood right there, like immediately that shit, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And then whenever he looks at it, you want to talk about a guy that has an amazing look at something and then make you scared of what he's looking at. Jesus Christ, Morgan Freeman in that moment, his man, you want to talk about that whole build up of tension, and Kevin Spacey just goes right into it. And then he starts talking about Detective Mills, I went over to your house and your beautiful wife, and he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He kept telling him, shut the fuck up. And then he just kept talking over and over and over, and then finally caught him whenever he started talking about his beautiful wife, Tracy, and just led up into that moment. And goddamn, man, what a fucking incredibly pure moment to be able to have the very first time that you watch it. It's one of the best twist endings, reveal endings that I've ever seen in any movie ever. Just was not expecting that. And for them to go that fucking dark on this film, I'm so glad that David Fincher got this and was like, we're keeping this particular part in the film. I'm so glad that it was David Fincher, because anybody else that would have gotten their hands on that would have made another ending that would have been more along the lines of a detective thriller, and it damn sure wouldn't have ended with the wife of the main character that is pregnant, having her fucking head chopped off and delivered in a box to you at the very end of the film. Just so goddamn incredible.
Yeah, it's the little details. Like you were talking about Morgan Freeman's reaction and how great of a job acting he did that. And I think one of the reasons that it works so well is he played that specific moment so well, but prior to this, he was unflappable. He was stoic.
Yes.
He was I've
Throughout
seen it all.
Yeah,
and kind of like what Rubyen was saying earlier.
Unfazed,
and then to see him completely just lose all of that in a split second, you're like, oh shit, dude. What did he just see that caused him to have that reaction?
Yeah,
and then you're getting this still. You're just starting to put the pieces together, and it's such a great drip of information. That's just
love it, and I love that they didn't
perfectly.
show it.
Yeah, couldn't show it.
Experience it, don't show it, and it's such a fucking incredible chance to be able to take on to something like that. Because any other director, any other filmmaker probably would have gone, it would have been one of those cigarette burn flashes that you get of something brief. I'm so glad that they just didn't show what was actually in the box, and it's left entirely up to your imagination. And it just incredibly fills in right there. But there's so many incredible moments throughout the entire film. So many great moments. The setting up of all the different murders, I mean, those are great and, integrals, little stories in itself to being able to advance the plot line along the way. But just for me, and maybe Rubyen, this is what you were actually talking about, those moments that you get inside of the police station where it's them just together trying to do the job that is a very boring, sexy version of, detective work, looking over the same shit again and again and again. And the whole time with Arlie Emery, him as their sergeant, or or captain or what, I don't know what position he's in, but in the film as their boss, he has such a incredible. There was an ad lib moment where the phone is just ringing and ringing and ringing at the desk,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Hello, this isn't even my goddamn desk," and then hangs back up again. The cast of characters that David Fincher gets to be able to play the parts that are in the film, each one seems to very much fit the character that they're playing. Morgan Freeman as Somerset, it felt like a 100% lived-in character. 100% like the guy that was in New York and just tired of this shit, man. He has to go to sleep every night with a
Was this
fucking
New York?
metronome. No, it wasn't in New York.
This was anywhere USA,
This was rainy,
though, right?
This was rainy Gotham like town anywhere.
Just
yes.
generic neo noir.
We were,
Yeah.
when I was watching it, we were trying to decide whether it was Chicago or New York, but I guess they never specified.
Could be San Francisco, could be Pacific Northwest, could be.
Yeah. I think Tyler's use of like Gotham as just this shit town.
Yep.
just generally shitty.
Yeah.
Well, one
violent.
thing too that I call with this, I mean, and this is another thing of movies from the 90s that we don't really get a lot of now, but look at the timeline of stuff, guys, right? This movie was made in 95, shot in 94 most likely. Everything in the movie is roughly 20 years old. I mean, the apartments, the cars, the lighting, everything. I mean, even when we get the first death with the fat guy dead in the spaghetti sauce, and they raise his dead head up and go, "He's dead." Like, yeah, no shit, dude. He's been sitting in the spaghetti sauce for 5 minutes.
Unless
But,
he's
like,
learned how to breathe spaghetti sauce, he's dead.
Again, that's another shot that I felt was like, really? You just, to be graphic, you raise his fat dead body up and go, "He's dead." Yeah, we get it.
Well,
like,
it's not.
but-
Neither one of them did it. The coroner actually came in. They had to pronounce
Right,
it dead. So he checks for
you're
pulse, no pulse. Yeah.
but
And also
in
it
that
sets up,
scene,
another thing later.
yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah, the
little
guns
thing.
to the head, and yeah, but one thing I was saying in that scene is that the lighting in that scene, the lights are on, but they're using flashlights, and like
Yes.
everything's dark. It's that neo noir aspect of like it's very gritty. But again, it's one of those movies that feels like it's almost timeless in the sense that yes, it was made in the 90s, but this movie could have been from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, like
Yep.
you know. And now when you look at movies, and let's make a movie today, and everything in the movie is roughly 20 years old. That's still, the vehicles are from 2003. Everything's still digital, everything's touchscreen for
Yep.
the most part. But like movies from the 90s, when things are 20 years old, they just feel so much older
Yeah.
than they do now. And this is one of those movies that, yes, it was made in the 90s, but I can't tell you if this movie is actually set, in the 70s or the 80s or whatever, other than a few key scenes where you see some like modern cars driving by and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I said it the last like 4 movies, they don't make them like they used to.
They damn sure don't.
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, they kind of do, but sometimes they don't. So, you guys know that David Fincher was up for an Oscar last night for his new film Mank. So if you haven't seen Mank, go watch it.
I've yet.
It's on Netflix.
Behind the scenes, Citizen Kane.
Yeah, it's correct. Yeah.
I
my
literally
understanding.
like, I don't watch anything ever, so I didn't even know he had a new movie called
Yeah.
Mank.
Yeah, it's on
All
Netflix.
black and white.
Yeah, it's all filmed in black and white. It's Gary Oldman, and it's the cast of characters is damn near endless, but it is like it's his big like cinemaphile spectacle kind of film. It's really good. It's really good, enjoyable film. Is it his best work? No, I mean, for me, Fight Club, Seven, like I said, the Social Network, Gone Girl. I mean, those are. I like that whole, deep and seedy and dark, style of filming and storyline, everything like that. So,
Do any of you guys feel like that any parts of the movie were predictable at all? Like, did you catch anything before anything was revealed, kind of thing?
I mean,
No.
unfortunately for me, like the pop culture aspect of the movie, not watching the movie, I didn't really know what was going on, but it was all leading up to the what's in the box for me, because I already knew that was the movie. So I lost that suspense. But
I
there
watched
were
it in theaters the week that it came out in '95.
That's crazy.
I
I
think that
watched
shit
it.
was
The
incredible.
first, I can't
Yeah.
remember if I don't. I wouldn't have predicted a lot because this was one of the first movies that I watched when me and one of my friends from high school I've brought up on the show before first started to kind of go down the list of the kind of the top IMDb movies because this is very highly rated on there, and so we were saying what's in the box constantly back in high school after watching this, but I didn't predict anything back then because
No.
there's
how
no
could
way.
you?
Yeah, and I would actually hit you with the reverse almost of that, and that one of the things where if you get into the weeds of thinking about this movie, just because we've been kind of mostly praising it a lot, so to offer a little bit of the other side, is that some of it doesn't really make sense as far as like the plan, like the villain's plan, which is something that you can pick apart in a lot of movies where there's just the main villain, and that the key moment where it starts to become a little unraveled is when they discover where he lives and they have that shootout interaction and he spares Mills. He calls him and says, hey,
Great
you
scene,
guys-
by the way.
yeah, it was really good, except for some of the editing was weird as far as like knowing I'll get into that in a second, but yeah, that whole scene for me is where it set up anything negative about the movie. That scene actually set up for me because he calls him and says, I have to move up my timeline or I have to change the plan a little bit because I wasn't anticipating you guys finding where I live. And so you start to wonder, what was his plan for Wrath and Envy prior to Mills, because you got to think Mills just moved there. He couldn't have anticipated that happening.
Nope.
Right.
And so how was he able to set up finishing the other two and also tying that into him showing up at the police station to turn himself in, having already killed his wife and also set up a delivery for what's in the box?
Yeah.
He did all of that in a
a
very
busy
short
guy.
period of time. And that's where you start to realize, like, how could he have done that with the same,
Doesn't look like he
efficiency?
sleeps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's
Well, I mean, he even
Well-
told him, like, the only reason that you're here is because I allowed you to be here. I spared you, and, you're lucky that I'm going to let you be as known as you are. And, like, yeah, I mean, I think he's a very meticulous kind of guy. And
I think that whenever they trapped him in that moment of, I don't think that okay, so we're speaking from the perspective of John Doe, Kevin Spacey's character in there. I don't feel like he had already planned on the whole Mills Tracy thing. I think that there might have also been something else in the works that he was setting up this grand finale for. And he made Detective Mills like part of his spotlight to be able to focus on him whenever it's I think it had a lot to do with their interaction with him, whenever he called the house and spoke to him, because before that before that he did he already had interaction with him where he threw him like
the
basically
photographer
threw him down the fucking stairwell. Yeah.
But I guess and I'm kind of nitpicking here. I get it, but someone's got to do it, and it's usually me. So I guess my point is just that it's not like it was really that possible. There were so many things that could have gone wrong to get him caught, right? And so it wasn't like it was. I don't see that problem in like Silence of the Lambs, for example, where you talked about earlier, where there was a few less things that were far-fetched as far as what he was able to do based on what they had established with the character previously.
If you get super analytical about it, though, in Lambs, shit kind of falls apart if you have to look at it from the perspective of them getting information from Hannibal Lecter. That becomes like the crux of the entire thing, kind of like what you're actually talking about right here, which is, how can he get everything? Because he's got a shit ton of moving pieces that he has to be able to. And
this is something that had been
tie together
at the least a year
in advance.
ongoing, because he had that one guy strapped to the bed for a
The
year.
reveal of that guy, god damn, dude.
Yeah, and
What
that was
a
set up with the
fucking
fat guy joke
incredible-
where he was like, is he dead? And they're like, of course he's fucking dead. And then,
Yeah.
And then he's
the
like,
guy that, yeah.
So
that still jump scared me this time.
The cast, they were not aware that was a guy. They thought it was because he got this crazy fucking skinny dude, and they had no idea that he was going to end up doing that fucking that moment right there. And the reaction of everybody in that room in that moment was like, "Oh shit, yeah,
Yeah, you could tell.
yeah,
you could tell
it's so
everyone
good.
was like
It's
legit
so good.
freaked out.
yeah."
It was awesome.
so good.
Yeah,
And,
but that was really my only kind of nitpicky part with it was just kind of the plan and how he was able to accomplish all of that really quickly. But otherwise, like, amazing fucking movie. The cinematography is out
oh
of
my
this
god,
world.
just
It's
outstanding.
so dark and noir. It's
the
so
the
awesome.
editing to it is incredible. Like I said, the actors, they feel even like Brad Pitt got a lot of shit like early in his career about being like the pretty boy actor, and but goddamn, man, like David Mills feels like a very lived in human being. Like you feel like, oh shit, that's who Brad Pitt is in that moment right then and there, and he plays that part to perfection. And this almost cocky but kind of stumbling into a situation that he doesn't quite understand, especially like the relationship that he and Somerset have to begin with. Yeah,
Somerset tells the captain, he's like, "Hey, I don't have time for this." Like,
Yeah.
he's all over it. He's all over it.
yeah.
And,
Give it
and
to
then
him. He wants it.
Mills is like, "Yeah, I'm all over
Yeah,
it. Let's do
fucking
this."
get
Like,
it.
he's
Yeah,
ready. He's
yeah,
ready for
yeah.
the new job. Yeah, they just moved to the city. He's starting a new life with his wife.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, he's ready. I also
So-
one of my favorite scenes was early on, whenever Somerset goes back after hours to do a little bit more of just kind of like detective
love
work.
that. Love it so
And,
much.
like
the library scene.
Yeah, and the security guards are all playing poker and listening to classical music,
Yeah,
and he's looking through all of the the historic text,
Faust and all of that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I thought that scene was really great, and that's one of those scenes I talked about earlier where it could have been a painting where he's walking in and it's nothing but the green office desk lamps, and just freeze frame that and just print that and blow it up on a 40-inch fucking poster to hang on the wall. Like,
yep.
that scene was awesome to me.
Yeah, the way that each scene breaks down was super, super, super impressive. I mean, it happens, like you said, multiple times throughout the entire film. Not just that, but I mean, from the standpoint of I don't know, the way that I enjoy, psycho fucking serial killer films, the murders themselves are very, very ingenious. The way that they're all staged.
Yeah, this feels like a pre-Saw. This feels like the evolution of Saw. Like this heavily inspired it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I could see it drew
Yeah.
some inspiration from this. Yeah.
I mean, do you
Absolutely.
remember the lust death in this movie?
Oh yeah.
It was fucked
Like,
up.
you want to talk
dude.
about stuff that inspires Saw, man?
Yeah, that's
That
that's
shit
it
was-
right
he had
there.
to put a strap-on
one-
knife.
That
and-
one seemed like it was because you really don't get a lot of information. You do through kind of the interrogations,
Mm-hmm.
but like, man, that was fucking
That one was
awful.
fucked up,
Awful.
dude.
That one was dark as hell.
Yeah.
And I just see David Fincher just laughing, going, "Oh, people are gonna hate this."
Yeah, I know.
Well, I
I
think
know.
like they kept it kind of vague. Where that was the one where they kind of revealed the least.
They showed the
where if you
photos.
weren't paying super attention, like you didn't exactly understand like quite what
The
happened.
context of it, yeah.
But once you do, you're like, holy shit, that was dark.
He had to rape
Man.
a prostitute with a strap-on blade
Yes.
and with a
Yeah.
gun in his mouth. Like, that's
Oh man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
talking
I
to
mean,
Austin before you guys were in here when we were recording, and I was mentioning how he was going through all of those old kind of classical texts, and I was like, for me, I was kind of getting Vietnam flashbacks from when I had to do those in college.
Yeah.
Because I had to
Fucking
write so
English
many
major,
papers
man.
about fucking
Yeah.
Canterbury Tales and Dante and all that shit. And it's a cool little thing if you're kind of an English classical literature person, because you get an idea of like a preview of what you might be seeing. if you're familiar with those, because they go into detail in those books, more so the Dante stuff, because it's more focused on the deadly sins than like Chaucer. Chaucer is almost not really a deadly sins at all. It's
one thing I liked was
more vague, but yeah, you get like you can much more see where it's coming, and it's like a little wink for people who read stuff like that. And I just felt a little special because I was like, oh yeah.
One thing I liked was Mills. We get Mills breaking down in the car when it's raining, and he's looking over some of those texts himself.
I love that.
Like he's on the right path. He's getting there.
Well, I mean, he was looking at like Cliff Notes though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
before he gets the Cliff's Notes, he's sitting there trying to read it.
And he goes, fuck, and he like has a breakdown literally 2 pages in.
I love it.
And I just love though that the night
because he's not
before,
the brainiac dude. He's not
the night before, Somerset already did all the work and left all the notes on his desk. And before he gets to work, he's like, oh fuck, I gotta read this before I go to work. And he's sitting outside the office in his car while it's raining, trying to catch up on the notes, not realizing that Somerset had done all the work the night prior, and it's just sitting on his desk when he comes in the morning. Like I thought that was great.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
nice little scene.
Yeah, not only that,
literally
but like,
happened to me like a few weeks ago from Tyler Weese. He actually did this where he was like, he gave me this this category guide, and I was like looking at it because we were gonna do this little meeting in the morning, and he didn't even show up. And I was like, fuck, dude, damn it, a waste of time. But it was good stuff. It was pretty funny.
You're welcome. Yeah, we're
Thanks,
gonna do
man.
that again this next coming up weekend. So,
yeah,
it's good stuff. So Austin, so this was your first time watching the film, right?
Correct.
Yeah, man. So, you and I had a conversation about it after you watched it, because I know that this is a movie that whenever you watch it, you kind of have to have you want to talk to somebody. Jesus Christ, I need to talk to somebody to be able to get this off my chest.
And boy, howdy, that's what I did. The second I saw Tyler, man, I was like, hold on a second.
It's like, I know we needed to save this for the podcast, but Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Correct.
I couldn't wait. I was looking forward to this week, probably more than. It's been a long time since I was this excited to talk about movies. Not just because of this one, but all the other shit I watched this week. I was super excited. But yeah, dude. I want to hear a little bit more, though, specifically from Austin.
Yeah, man. So, like, what are your thoughts about it, having seen this for the very first time? I mean, I know you love the movie.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I don't think I have very many complaints, if any complaints at all, about it. If there's anything that, if I had to pick something, but I don't even know if it counts as a complaint, but there was a scene towards the end-ish of the movie, probably last 40 minutes, and we're all sitting in the living room and we're watching it, and it's the scene, and I remember it just happening kind of just out of context, and maybe you guys can clarify because my memory is terrible, but it was a scene where it just randomly showed Brad Pitt like go home, and he went into his little apartment or house or wherever he lives, and he just gets into bed with his wife and he kisses her and he says, "I love you so much." And then that was it. Like, that scene just came and went. I'm sure it was a transitional scene, like between day and night, but right when that scene happened, I looked up in the living room and I was like, you guys, she's gonna die. Because why the fuck did they put that scene here all the way towards the end of the movie? Because she really wasn't even a focus, at least not to me, like the entire film. And then at the end, or towards the end, that happened, and I was like, oh no,
well,
that's it, she's
so
going.
She
does get a little bit forgotten in the middle part of the movie.
She does, but then you get also that between her and Somerset.
That shit was fishy as fuck to me, man. I thought she was trying to like come on to Somerset. Like, it felt he was giving me bad vibes.
I got a little bit of that too. I thought maybe she was like infatuated. Yeah. She was infatuated with him to an extent, but I think more so it was just her trying to like find friends in a new city, and
she has trying nobody to talk to.
Yeah, she was just trying to relate to a coworker of his, so she had a common ground, and like,
yeah, because she had no work. She hadn't had a job yet, so she didn't know anybody at work yet.
She brand new there.
City.
Hated the city.
She didn't want to raise the kid in this apartment.
Scared as shit. Yeah, can't bring it up to David. Only because, and I love like the reasoning behind, like, you know, why she couldn't bring it up to him, because she doesn't want, you know, him to compromise the things that he would do throughout his day because of a possible child that she is going to raise. I mean, there's the implications to that are just so incredible.
It seemed like their relationship was one-sided in a way.
Okay.
To me, like he was so focused on work, and maybe she just loved him so much, but he just didn't have as much time for her as she wanted, and I don't know, maybe she felt like having a kid would be more of a nuisance on.
If there's anything that I know from watching movies with cops or detectives, it's that the relationships that they have with the other human beings in their lives that are not the criminals are way less important than the relationships that they have with the criminals, because it's that constant chase that gives them the thrill that they're looking for, that being able to catch the criminal at the end. And I mean, let's be honest, had it not been for John Doe showing up, with blood dripping off of his fingers in the police station yelling, "Detectives!"
Because he cut his fingertips off, right?
Yes, correct. Is it because he cut his fingertips off? Or it has to be because somebody, I'd read in a thing somewhere where somebody was like trying to explain that was supposed to be the blood on his hands from killing Tracy, but that just wouldn't make any sense because...
Well, I mean, we get in the opening
then
scenes
he had to box up the thing, and then...
where he's got like a razor blade, and he's like...
Yes, he's chopping his fingers.
He's trimming the skin off his fingers,
yes. Yeah. Just crazy.
We even get shots, too, whenever Somerset's looking through the library and reading the books. There's multiple shots of headless people, which I think is just kind of that early, like, foreshadowing.
Sure.
He's looking through the books of the different sins, and there's like 4 different shots of like headless bodies, watching it back.
What a fucking crazy good movie. Like, legitimately, I mean, this is one of those movies whenever it came out in 95. Oh, did I also mention that the other movie that came out in 95 that also starred Kevin Spacey was Usual Suspects? And also, for anybody who has never seen Usual Suspects before, pause this or just fast forward this for about 15 seconds. There's a goddamn twist ending where Kevin Spacey plays the goddamn bad guy in Usual Suspects as well. Also in 95, and won the goddamn Academy Award that year for playing Kaiser Soze in Usual Suspects. Just fucking incredible. Verbal Kent / Kaiser Soze / John Doe. That was his year in 95. You want to talk about a fucking incredibly stellar year for any actor? And you know what's crazy is you can go back through and you can look at every bit of, advertisement material, anything that has anything to do with the movie Seven, and Kevin Spacey's name isn't on a single fucking lick of it. And what an incredible fucking hide in plain sight that, to have him be the big reveal at the very end. Just, yeah. And Austin, I know we were talking about it, and like whenever John Doe calls Detective Mills at the house.
Yeah, he calls on. He calls his own phone.
Yeah,
because they're searching his house,
yep.
Right? But the second that I heard his voice through the phone, listen, I know me some Kevin Spacey. Like, I hear that motherfucker's voice, I know who it is, and that's what. Right, the second I heard it through the TV, I shot up and I was like, guys, that's Kevin Spacey. Yeah. And Hannah was like, yeah, that totally is Kevin Spacey. And Daly was watching the movie with us, and he denied it. He thought Kevin Spacey's voice was deeper than what we heard. And I was like, this is an older movie, so I mean, you might be thinking of, post 1995 Kevin Spacey, but I know my motherfucker when I hear him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed the film. Honestly, probably a little bit more than I thought I was going to, because it's been a while since I've watched a movie that has like kept my attention from beginning to end. No, I don't think I got up one time. I just sat on the couch, watched it all the way through.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Big fan.
Did you guys have, as far as the movie goes, did you guys have anything else you want to add?
I think we're right there at that mark.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we are. I'm clocking an hour 30 on my end.
Yep.
I think it's time to Start to play the game.
Let's play
It's
the
time
game.
to play the game of what movie shall we do next, boys? You guys know how this works by now. All of the boys are going to be voting on movies that they get to choose. Whatever movie gets the most votes is the next movie we get to do for the podcast.
All right.
Who wants to go first? You know what? Tyler, how about you? Since you went last at the first bit, I think you should go first for your movie vote.
So I would like to change the direction of the podcast completely for next week.
Fuck.
I would like to go
What does that mean?
I would like to go in a much more a lighter direction. I watched a film today that is one of my favorites, and I know it is the favorite film of one of the people that's sitting here on the podcast with us. My nomination for this next week is going to be the comedy classic that is Pineapple Express.
Oh, dude.
Literally my top 5 probably best movie ever made. Like unironically, it is such a well-written, well-directed, well-acted movie that
David Gordon Green, man. Yeah.
Damn, dude.
oh, man.
What
So
an interesting choice.
Great
I actually sent Ruben a screen capture of the closed captioning of the movie as I was watching it. What did I send you earlier?
All you sent me was a giant caps lock. Well, it wasn't caps lock, but just a screen cut of just the caption that says, "It's like God's vagina." That's all it said.
And then
And
I knew Ruben
I just
would.
replied with James Franco just giggling to himself, like,
Yeah. Man, what a fucking incredible film it is.
Love
I mean,
it.
like,
I think one of my most
legitimately-
often used quotes is something that's minor, but it's when Craig Robinson's character is like, "I synced it.
I see
I
it.
synced it."
You pulled the man's jaw off. It's the funniest. And you think about the context of it, that's not
Yeah,
funny
dude.
at all. They're assassins.
Yeah.
And he
dude.
literally ripped a man's jaw off and killed him.
Let me tell you something. I was with Ruben while Ruben was watching this film, and you want to talk about a dude that knows every single line right before it happens? God damn, man. Just
This is my.
it's so
my
funny to be able to
mom's-
watch
It is my
him.
mom's favorite comedy movie.
Yeah.
Maybe
I believe
her favorite
it.
movie. She
I
loves
believe
this. Loves that
It's
movie.
such a
So
good movie.
Such a good movie.
And
All right,
then-
So firstly, we have Pineapple Express. Logan, your choice.
Well, I feel like that's a good one. I'm actually going to go with one that I'm actually sad I'm bringing it up now because I think it's going to lose, but it blows my mind we haven't covered it yet. I was actually looking to see if we have, but Gladiator.
Oh, I fucking
Oh, Jesus
love
Christ.
Gladiator.
I am wanting to watch Gladiator again. I was thinking about Beautiful Mind because I wanted to get some Russell Crowe action, but then I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
we can't. If
We
we're
can
gonna
watch
do
his
Russell
new
Crowe-
film Unhinged.
Huh?
So you can watch his new film Unhinged.
Nah, I'm good.
I mean, it's as good as Gladiator.
Yeah, looks like dog shit, dude. I'm good. But yeah, dude, everyone here knows Gladiator.
Yeah.
Just what a fucking, it's just an epic. It is an
Hey
an
man,
epic
let's face
movie.
it. I've heard of Gladiator.
Oh,
I've
my.
never
You've
never seen that?
Gladiator.
God.
Come on. I've never seen Gladiator.
And Logan leaves again. Yeah.
All right, I'm back.
Oh, man. Okay.
That's all, I mean, I don't really have to explain it. I don't have to set it up,
Yep.
And honestly,
Okay.
I'm gonna watch Pineapple Express also. So even
Yeah,
if
I know.
it doesn't win, but I have to insist we watch Gladiator immediately for the sake
Okay.
of Austin. I have to insist.
Okay.
Great. So we have Gladiator, Pineapple Express, Rubin.
Oh, geez. Here's what I'm thinking. We were talking earlier about Wanted and Shoot 'Em Up and Clive Owen. I think maybe it was just me talking about Clive Owen.
It was.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw out 2006 Children of Men.
Oh, god damn.
baby.
That's like one of my
think
favorite
we've had
movies
a
that's
couple
ever
of
been made
conversations about
ever.
this, but,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
I would like to at some point just get Austin's breakdown on Children of Men. We're 6 years off from the timeline that the movie takes place, and I think I watched it probably 2 weeks ago.
It's so
And,
good.
It's incredible how I don't know, the timeline of the way that they see things playing out over the next 6 years is coming into play. Maybe this movie's too much at the moment. Maybe we should stick to something lighthearted. Maybe we should stick to Pineapple Express. But I'm a fan of Children of Men, and I think it's.
I watched it after Tyler recommended it last year.
Yeah.
I think you had watched it and you brought it up, kind of in the intro.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Alfonso Cuarón, man, just incredible.
I usually watch it like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Over the past, I've got a wild story about that movie that probably is off the podcast.
Okay. If you want to watch the best movie that Clive Owen has ever done in his entire filmography, like he doesn't have a great, super deep, acting chops filmography. This is it's the perfect mix.
It's
the
the peak of the mountain for him.
Plus,
Yeah, 100%.
we get peak Michael Caine as a fucking hippie.
Yep.
Listening to like heavy metal.
Oh yeah.
It's
Weird.
Pull my
It's weird.
finger.
pull my finger.
Oh come on, man. What a fuck. Yeah. Just
It's
it's a great
so
movie.
weird, but I'll do love
It's
it.
Michael Caine is a fucking hippie. And look at the timeline though too. Think about it, right? It's the movie's in the late 20s.
Yeah.
He's like what, 60, 70?
Yeah.
So prior to that, in 2000, he would have been like in his 40s. Like he would have been, I don't know. I think it's a funny character the way that you look at his.
Oh, of course it is. It's so great, so well done though. There's so many. I mean, Julianne Moore in the movie as well. She comes like out of left field, and just everything that she does throughout the entire thing is just it's knockout. Love it. You guys you're making the choice very, very, very hard this week. So
Don't worry.
I've never heard of Children of Men, so that's my take.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. Wow. I'm shocked.
Oh no.
But don't worry. Next week we're doing Big Lebowski. So.
Oh man. Okay.
So I asked Hannah, for those of you at home, before the podcast started, I asked my girlfriend to choose a movie that we could partially vote on to see if it gets picked for this next podcast. And she actually texted me 3 different movies, and I told her to pick one of the 3.
Oh no.
To clarify,
Can we guess?
No. To clarify, I've actually seen one of these movies, and I really enjoy it.
Are there any
but,
scary movies on there?
Yes.
Final Destination is one of them.
No.
Damn.
Not that type of scary movie.
No.
So I told her to pick one, and she chose one, but I'm not going to choose that one. I will tell you what it is, but it's not my choice, and I will specifically not choose it.
What's the
because
not choice movie? Go.
It is Silence of the Lambs,
Okay.
because you guys were talking about it so much and its
Yeah.
similarities to Seven, and I've never seen Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
And she said pick that one, and I was like, okay. And you guys talked about it so much that I changed my mind.
Okay.
So I added the other 2 movies. One of them I think is a drama. I really don't know. I've never seen it. But the other one I've seen, and it's also lighthearted. The Princess Bride.
Love
I
the
think
Princess
would be-
Bride. I brought that up
I
a
think
couple
would
weeks
be-
ago.
It's been a
I
while.
think would be a lighthearted take.
Damn.
Her
Yep.
other movie that she chose was A Beautiful Mind.
Beautiful Mind.
never-
Yeah.
I just-
You want to talk about
I
Russell
just
Crowe?
mentioned
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind.
I know. Absolutely.
Oh.
That's weird.
Yep.
Yeah, she mentioned A Beautiful Mind, Silence of the Lambs, Princess Bride. So I choose Princess Bride because
Princess
I think
Bride
we should
is
we should do
such-
lighthearted.
Yeah. Princess Bride is such an incredible film. Yeah. You want to talk about like shit that I loved growing up? Fucking. I felt like I was Fred Savage throughout the entire thing. I just. Yeah. I wanted to be
I
Fred
almost
Savage
watched
whenever I
it
was
the
a
other
kid.
day because it's usually one of my go-to movies when I'm sick that I watch.
Yeah.
Make me feel all nice. Get my
And
ginger ale.
especially after like Twister. So if you
Yeah.
go Twister right into Princess Bride, you get to see good guy, bad guy. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Cool. So our choices are Princess Bride, Children of Men, Pineapple Express, and
Wait, can I hit you guys
One
with
of
a
those
Pineapple
sticks out.
Express real quick? I went through Starbucks just 2-3 days ago. I've never had this happen. At the drive-thru, they go, "Hey, we have a question of the day today. We're asking all customers, what is your favorite movie?" Person did not want to ask me that at all, and I said, Got quiet for a second. I just sat there and stared off in the distance, and I went, "Pineapple Express." He literally laughed. like he was like, like it was the funniest laugh I've ever heard. The way he did it, and he went, that's a really good one, and then he was excited about the question at that point.
Yep.
But the opening to it, all day he's probably just heard just shit, and he's just, what's your favorite movie? You know, that's our question of the day. The delivery he gave me was just so dry and just like, I'm ready to leave work. And then me hitting him with Pineapple Express.
You made his day better with Pineapple Express.
It was the funniest thing. Yeah. But anyways.
You did the Lord's work there, dude.
Hell yeah,
all right. Are you guys ready to vote?
Oh,
yes.
Excellent. Logan, what's your vote?
Pineapple Express. Without hesitation.
Rubyen, what's your vote?
Ruben's vote is also
actually, I had a lot of hesitation. This is a very tough one for me.
I gotta say Pineapple Express, man.
Okay.
Tyler, what's your vote?
Jesus Christ.
Because I can't vote for Pineapple Express, I'm going to say Gladiator.
Excellent choice. And as it happens, I was going to vote for Pineapple Express too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
so I think next week's movie is going to be Pineapple Express.
We did it.
Shit.
Ruben's so excited right now, dude.
I know. It's so great.
It's the bee's knees, man. It's the bee's knees.
I'm telling you,
I
guys.
should be on a mountaintop shouting this shit, man. Everybody should be hearing about this.
This is one of the few movies I actually have the DVD of. Stream it. So
I think I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I don't know if I've seen it like beginning to end before.
Hey, I now own the digital copy of it thanks to a
oh hell yeah, I got it in 4K.
Fun trick. Yeah, it was awesome. So
hey, cool. real quick before we wrap up, I want to let everybody out there know who the people that are still with us. Hit up those movie. My watch just flew off my wrist. Did anybody catch? Can I move the camera for the stream real quick?
Yeah.
My watch landed.
It
shit! Flew off my wrist and landed on the chair. That was wild.
Yeah.
But
it's divine intervention right there.
Go out there, pull up Vudu, pull up iTunes, pull up Android, Google Play Store. There are some deals going on right now.
Crazy
$4.99 for 4K, just blockbuster movies. It's crazy how cheap movies are going for now, retail wise. They used to be $21.99, $24.99 for a movie. They're fucking $3.99, $4.99 for 4K copies digitally now.
It's great.
But get out there. Denzel Washington has a $5 sale on iTunes if you want to pick up some Denzel movies. There's a couple $6, $7 4K movies.
I bought Virtuosity.
I'm not familiar with that.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, that's Russell Crowe, Denzel Washington. Come on, guys.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh yeah, it's one of the worst VR experiences ever filmed. It's so good though. Name a bad Denzel Washington movie. Go. I dare you. I fucking dare you.
Flight.
What?
You didn't like Flight?
It's
a good movie.
It's not bad.
Book of Eli is fun. It's not a great movie, but
no.
I don't know if I've seen a Denzel Washington movie. I need to look up a list.
Dude, fuck off.
I really don't know.
And there,
now Tyler left. Tyler left.
Hold on, Denzel Washington.
Okay, I'm back.
Denzel Washington movies. Hold on, let me see.
You've seen at least minimum four Denzel movies.
Hold on. I'm reading them.
How do we let this guy? How do we let this happen?
You've seen what? Man on Fire. You had to have seen that.
Yes.
No, I've never seen that.
Training Day.
No.
Fences.
Guys, I just went through the whole list.
Fucking way he's seen Fences.
Not even Equalizer?
No, I've never seen any of these movies.
What about Safe House? God. That was kind of shitty.
I've read through. I'm on IMDb.
Go back and watch it again.
I read through this whole list.
It's not shitty at all.
What do you think his best-selling movie is?
It's not that bad. It's not. I just remember the Titans
movie.
You didn't see that?
You've never
we
seen
are the Titans.
Mighty, mighty Tide. I watched that movie like 6 times in school by force. You've never seen,
I've talked about it on this podcast.
American Gangster.
Malcolm X.
Boys. I've read the whole list on IMDb. I said this 4 times.
I've never seen movie.
Any of these movies.
I don't believe it. John Q.
I've never seen it. I've
Stop
never seen a movie
movies
with
Ruben.
Denzel Washington.
He's going to say no every single time.
You're telling me.
Okay. All right. Hey, guys, next week we're going to be doing...
Flight.
Hey guys, if you stuck around this long, thanks. If you want to send us
Equalizer.
an email at podcastthemoviethepodcast or podcastmoviepodcast@gmail.com, send us movie recommendations. Just stop by and say
Tide.
hi. Check us out on all of our social medias. This has been another great podcast. We will see you guys
Equalizer.
next week for
Unstoppable.
Pineapple Express. See
Speed
you guys
on a
later.
You haven't
train.
seen Book of Eli.
Fuck off, both of you. Damn.
Love you guys. Bye.
Not even Equalizer?